Priyansha. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, congratulations for your selection in the civil services exam this year.
Thank you so much, sir.
And you have got one of the highest rank in the civil services examination. Not
Yes,
only that, we got to know that you have scored the highest marks in public admin optional as well.
Yes, sir.
So, Priyansha, just tell us about how you are feeling after getting such a high rank, and like we are 100% sure that you are going to get a service of your choice.
Sir, the feeling is exceptional. There are no words to describe it, especially for my family as well. My friends, families, teachers, all of them are extremely thrilled today.
All right. So, Priyansha, just tell us something about yourself so that people at large know who is Priyansha, who has scored such a high marks in public admin also, and also got the 31st rank in the civil services this year.
So, sir, I completed my graduation from Maharaja Agresyan Institute of Technology in 2018 with computer science engineer as my branch. Thereafter, in 2018, I started preparing for civils, and this was my fourth attempt. Public administration has been my optional in all the attempts. I wrote mains just once before this. That was in my very first attempt in 2019. And that year, I scored 79 in paper one and 139 in paper two. So getting the highest marks this year, especially in paper one, I have 153, which is almost doubling my marks from 2019. So that makes me extremely happy and confident about that. If you work hard in the right direction, you definitely can score well in any optional, not just in public administration.
All right. So, so you have sustained your preparation for about 3 to 4 years since you have already had 4 attempts in the civil services. So, how did you manage the challenges that you faced during this preparation journey? There may have been many ups and downs or self-doubt. How do you tackle all of them? How did you overcome the challenges during this time?
So, sir, thankfully, I could write mains in the very first attempt, which was a confidence booster for me. But for the next two consecutive attempts in 2020 and 2021, I couldn't clear prelims. That was the main challenge for me. I had self doubt because I used to miss the cutoff by 1 mark or 1.5 marks. So it was always that, am I suitable for this exam or not? I think the most that helped me was analyzing my own papers. The UPSC paper that I attempted on those prelim days, I went back to those papers and saw where I was making mistakes. So I recognized that I was messing up some of the easy questions in prelims, and that was costing me a lot. Second thing that helped me was talking to my friends and peers. My peer group was also exceptional. They are in services today. They have I have rank holders. Gaurav Sharma, he was my friend since my class days, and he also scored 537 rank this year. I have other people who supported me. So I think friends and analyzing your mistakes was a very good way to motivate myself. They believed in me when I couldn't.
Right. So it is important that one should have a close group of people who are motivating you, who are pushing you to do more, because like you have the hidden potential in you, but sometimes because of self-doubt, because of this or that factor, we do not put our best. So
Yes,
that
sir.
time our family members and let's say the team of close network, the group of people, they push us for that thing. So that has been a case for you as well.
Definitely.
And so when it comes to preparation strategy for the prelims exam, right? So how did you prepare for the prelims exam? Because you have seen two attempts of failure in the prelims stage itself. Like you qualified in the first attempt, then you failed in 2 attempts in prelims. And how did you prepare for it? Like this year?
So, firstly, I want to share that I cleared forest cutoff as well this year. So, my strategy can be a small template for those who are failing prelims. Limit your sources even more. When I failed two prelims, especially in my third attempt after failing one prelims, I started doing more of current affairs from here and there, and eventually what happened was I was not able to revise those. So in this attempt, I went back to the basics, just the standard books, just one source of current affairs. And one thing I changed was doing previous year prelims questions as well, and analyzing what UPSC demands to think in those situations. So for a science tech question, UP has a certain pattern of elimination. So that is what I applied this year, and thankfully it worked for me, and I think it is working for other people as well.
All right. So if we talk about the means preparation, so how did you plan your studies for the means exam? And so did you do any answer writing? How did you make notes for the means exam?
So for the mains exam, I think keeping the syllabus in front of you, that is very, very important, because otherwise we tend to diverge in the vastness of the subjects we have to read. So my strategy was that if whatever topic there is in the syllabus, I will prepare a 15 marker worth question material. So 3 sides of an A4 sheet, whatever I need to write in a 15 marker, and that should contain examples, some point of intro, conclusion, or other necessary points, data, committee heads, whatever. So every topic was just 15 marks of material. I had very short notes for almost every topic, especially I'll tell you in ethics, I had definition for every term in the syllabus and an example prepared. So that reduced the thinking time in the exam. I have done a lot of answer writing practice, a lot, a lot. Uh, my main source was previous year UPSC questions, and writing mocks, whatever mock you want to write, whichever coaching, because for mains the themes get repeated even from the general test series that you attempt. So writing a lot of mocks definitely helps, especially in time management, structuring, maintaining the presentation of your answer across the paper, making innovative diagrams of flowcharts. That becomes, inbuilt in you after writing a lot of answers. So that definitely worked for me.
Okay, all right. So to talk about optional subject, like we are delighted to have S. Ansari sir with us now. Like he is the director of the institute and he is a faculty of public administration optional subject. Since you have been associated with public admin test series at Lukmaan IAS, so like I would like to invite S. Ansari sir here to like have a brief talk with you to discuss about public administration at large as an optional subject. Like he may discuss with you about like how did you prepare for the public admin optional, and like you have got like one of the highest marks in this year, 292 in
Yes.
public administration. So like we have Ansari sir with us. Sir, please.
So congrats.
Thank you so much, sir.
So how are you?
Sir, I'm good. How are you?
Yes, fine. So how do you feel?
Sir, there are no words to describe this feeling, I think.
Hmm. So yes, I think lots of things already you may have told, and you have been telling since results, I guess, isn't it?
Yes,
So
sir.
many people asking, I guess, almost more or less same questions.
But sir, I think if it helps someone, then it's worth telling.
Yes. So basically, if you take public administration, so I guess you some copies I have evaluated.
Yes, sir.
So are you aware?
Yes, sir. I have written about 5 or 6 tests with you this year, and in 2019, I also wrote a test series with you. So I think definitely, especially I'll say one thing, that the model answers of paper one, I used to go through those model answers and understand that my answer lacked a certain demand that was there being addressed in the model answer. So that is what I have done for paper one. So I think it helped me.
Yes. In fact, after results, I since I was copies are kept in that Karol Bagh Center.
Yes,
In the
sir.
copy was also kept, so I once again saw that how now after 292. So then I was trying to see what remarks I have written, and So I found that yes, it's like content is good, demand you have to understand something like this.
I think the last test I wrote was about of financial administration, and in
Okay.
that test I scored 130 something marks. So I think that was my pinnacle. I felt that I am now good to go.
Yes, because I was seeing also the remarks ki how what was exactly because once someone has secured, so we also try to see that how it matches with UPSC and what let's see we have given remarks and what exactly the candidate was. Yes, content part was good. You have learned so many things, especially the rules of the
I'll
game.
add one more thing, sir. So the diagrams that we have in the model answer for different phases and eras that we shifted from different phases of federalism or
Yes, yes, that
constitutionalism. Those
Maurice
diagrams
Jones.
I
Yes,
have
yes, yes.
incorporated a lot in my answers on the
Morris,
final
yes,
day.
that was given by Morris Jones. It was
Yes,
homogeneity
sir.
era to conflictual era to bargaining era
Yes, sir.
to
Those
now let's
diagrams,
see
I
cooperative competitive
because we
factor.
generally don't write the same test. So once I read the model answer, those don't appear on the copy. But on the final day, when I wrote my mains, I have used those diagrams all over in paper, not just in paper two where they are, but I tried to innovate similar diagrams in paper one as well.
Hmm.
So that is something that might have fetched me higher marks.
Yes, because it's about all, I guess, the concept. Once you know the concept of how to write it, how to present it, how to structure it, so that can be incorporated elsewhere also. It's the more or less same thing we say. That's why we say that public administration has cascading effects.
Yes, sir.
Is it like that?
Yes, sir.
So basically, in public administration, frankly speaking, nowadays it's the number of total number of results are less below 50. So seeing that, and now you are let's see, having not only highest marks but also good rank. Now, how you will suggest to people having public administration optional?
Sir, I think any optional in UPSC performs if you have given your input very well. So even I had that fear with public administration because in 2019 when I wrote my mains, I had just had 79 marks in paper one. So that fear that I don't understand the subject was persistently there even when I was writing mains this year. But when I couldn't clear my two prelims, I worked extensively on my paper one. I had read books, notes, read toppers copies a lot from Lukman's portal. I have read Nupur Goyal Nam's copies. She had
Hmm.
311 marks and 11th rank. Uh,
Yes.
so her copies were my guideline. Uh, so I think when we do extensive reading, that is when we clear our concepts. And once our concepts are clear, we can address the question very simply. And that is what helps you get more marks. So I don't think the fear that public administration does not perform is rational. I have marks. My friend also has very good marks in public administration, and there are other students. Even Priyanka Goyal has 292 marks.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yes, sir. So that is what I'm saying. That this fear we have, created a air of mysticism about the subject that it does not perform well. It has been doing well for the past many years, I think, and there's no reason to fear. It's about just getting concepts cleared and putting them on the paper.
Hmm. Yes. So what exactly, let's say, people like those who are preparing public administration. So what they should do, let's see, foundation, then writing practice, how they should plan. Can you tell in brief?
Sir, I think for optional, one reading is important before we start writing answers because the topics are generally correlated. So once a foundation course has been done, or if you are preparing on your own, whatever notes you are referring, once you have referred those notes once, then go to the syllabus and the previous year questions. Understand how the questions are being asked, and then you go back to the text again. So now when you are reading that text, you have a notion in mind that how it is being asked, and how you are going to write that text on the paper, and then you start writing answers, get those answers evaluated. uh, you can also do one exercise which I used to do, that open any topper's copy, read that question, write your answer, and then read their answer. So
Yes,
now you have a prepared model answer in front of you to match your answer, and fill in the gap if you don't have someone readily available to check your copy. So I
yes,
think
it is
this can help.
good innovation you are showing. Right. That yes, it is. There are so many ways if you want to find, learn, improve. So yes, those copies. Let's say even now your copy. So now people will follow your copy, right? So it is self-evaluation. They can learn from the answer that is written, the evaluation marks given, even the let's say comment box, the remarks given. So
Yes, sir.
it's all about ki how they train themselves. And certainly, let's say ki it is not ki there is no someone to evaluate. There is self-evaluation, and that way also one
Definitely,
can
sir.
compare.
And I think,
Nowadays, yes,
so one more thing I like to add, that often we are very emotional with our copies because we put in so much effort. I think we need to get that emotion out of it. If a teacher or a evaluator is giving you certain remarks, try to take those things a bit more objectively. They know a little bit more than me. That is what I used to think, and that is what I would like to tell, especially with optional, because faculty are much more refined with the optional subjects. So take those remarks not too hard, read them, understand where you might be missing. It might just help you get a few more marks. So that is also something we can
on
do.
remarks, so I will tell that generally when we check, so especially so I give a very harsh remarks.
Yes, so that is what I wanted. So don't take it too hard. It's for our own benefit only that they are there.
Yes, because we do not have anything. Even many a time we do not know the student properly, and when we are
Definitely.
evaluating, so there is nothing against the student. It's all about the copy and the evaluation, and someone should honestly tell it also. No? If something is right, so it is right. We try to find some positives, no doubt. In
Yes.
fact, whenever I check, so I try to find even any element of positive. So I try to write that positive also, so that the remarks do not become only negative.
Definitely.
They should have something positive. Yes, these are the some positive aspects. So they should have something for motivation.
Yes, sir.
But yes, when we say very bluntly something, so yes, now it depends on the students and how they take it. And largely since people have been taking, I guess, positively, that's why they come, and we have been doing so well since let's say very long time.
Yes, sir.
So I guess that is how. But yes, we do write very straightforward, and it is needed in optional also, because
Yes,
unless
sir.
someone knows whether he is good in theory or his concept or examples or conclusion or introduction, or whether he is writing GS type simply the way one writes in GS. So unless a person knows, it's very difficult.
Yes, sir.
Nowadays, paper second is becoming challenging as students have the view. So what do you see? What is your take on that?
Sir, I think paper 2 is not GS paper 2, first of all. We tend to think it is GS paper 2. And secondly, because there is no exact source for paper 2 that you can read, keeping the ARC at hand is very important. And I have quoted a lot from ARC. Secondly, lot of examples from the current, be it uh, financial administration, be it governance, or any topic, even panchayats, local governments, any topic, we should have a lot of examples, and that is what distinguishes one's answer from others also. And keep using that terminology in paper 2 of public administration makes it a public administration answer, not a GS answer.
Yes.
So writing a financial administration question, we need to use that terminology, that it is cooperative federalism and financial. So if Niti Aayog, GST Council is there, those elements need to be incorporated in our answers to make it
Yes,
different
we
from
do
paper
say,
two.
we also say, because many a time students do not have habit of writing the term public administration, the term
Yes, sir.
Indian administration. It's very basic. Even they don't have habit, because in GS you don't have the habit, Indian polity, Indian economy. That way you do not write.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that way, if they have, at times they keep referring it. Like say simple, it's a very significant reform in Indian administration.
Yes,
So
sir.
when you add the term to it itself, means gives that color of optional type. And there are some technical words and it's in fact it's the overall change in orientation. It's the orientation of the
Yes,
subject
sir.
that it makes different from political. So what I can say, GS
GS
paper second.
Yes, sir.
But people, let's say that basically what we see that it's like they are asking a very holistic understanding.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
say once they ask a question related to new localism,
Yes,
how
sir.
new localism is somehow antithetical to our, let's say, 74th Amendment, right, like this. It is testing something very holistic, whether you have understood 74th Amendment Act, new localism, can you compare it? It's
Yes, sir.
not asking ki some information you can write. The
Definitely.
74th has such features, new localism has such features. So what people can adopt a different strategy for paper second?
Sir, again, I think defining those terms in the questions makes it very, clear to the examiner that you know it. And following a simple structure of answering the question. So if your question is to be taken, how is new localism antithetical to local government?
Yes, 74th Amendment.
74th Amendment. So, if I will address this question, then firstly, in very short, I'll write what is new localism, assuming it's a 10 marker. Then I'll draw a table about the characteristics of new localism and 74th Amendment. So, when I draw a table, it becomes very clear that I know both of them. So, I think there is a
Yes,
human
only
bias
then a
that
person can
reads
draw a
in
table.
yes, sir.
Only then, if one is clear, only then one can draw a
Yes,
table.
sir. Then the examiner also knows that I know the answer very well. I know the concepts,
Because
and
point
then
to point comparison is itself a clear
definitely.
thing.
So, and then once I've written the table, I'll, very shortly in the theory write how it is different because of these points. And then a very short conclusion. And if I know an example, I'll incorporate one or two examples in this answer. So I think defining those terms and making comparisons, writing characteristics in very, point wise, being very precise in one's answer is very, very important to score good. Also, when you read technical reports, especially I have only read the ARC report. So certain reports of the ARC, especially the fourth report, the report on personal administration, the financial administration reports, when you read those reports continuously, I think you somehow unconsciously start writing in the way they address the issues. So I think that is also something we need to do with paper too. We need to read the ARC. There is no way around the ARC report.
Yes, it's all about imbibing. It becomes part and parcel of your thinking.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you start thinking in that way. It's not only about incorporating a particular point. Rather, it's overall the way you think, the way you present, the way you write. It's all,
Yes,
let's say that it's let's say bringing all those things together.
yes, sir.
Then there is one more thing that the people basically they try to link and they will like to know, get motivated also. That is public administration and GS relationship. That how do you see the link between public administration and GS?
Sir, I think it's the best part of having public administration as your optional. You don't have to read governance. In both of my attempts when I wrote mains, I have never read the governance portion for GS2 separately. And both the times I've scored good marks in GS2. This year also, in both GS2 and ethics, I have 122 score. So
It is good.
you don't even realize the benefits you are having. I was not sure about my GS2 paper when I wrote it down, but because of public administration, I must have incorporated more examples than the other students, and more names of committees, more judgments, more, it just becomes you.
Yes.
So that is what
Basically, like it's
definitely helps.
governance for GS is a quite subset of public administration. You know, huge.
Uh,
You know, very huge of governance, and you
I
know
would even draw
RTI.
that same diagram of governance that we use in public administration, and that third sector of society, the Venn diagram that we usually draw. I will use that in my GS paper too. So I think that definitely, sets your copy aside. I think this is the best part of having public administration. You don't have to read governance.
Yes, we also say sarcastically that GS paper second is third paper of public administration, and
Yes,
ethics
sir.
is fourth paper. So yes, it does have, and in ethics, how let's say public administration has the link.
Sir, again, because we read the ARC report in paper 2, and using that fourth report in ethics, it is a marks booster. We don't realize it, but it definitely is. So, everywhere, if I'm addressing an issue, I'll write from the ARC report that the Judicial Value Commissioner is being suggested by the ARC report, or there should be state funding of elections. So these elements, they just come into your answers if you have paper, your optional as public administration.
Do
And
you
even
think,
the
yes,
examples in public administration can be used directly in your ethics paper. So for example, a good governance example becomes an ethics example. So your base for examples also goes up.
hmm. Do you think that like say ethics paper is applied and it has become more applied, and in fact last year they had first three questions from civil services theory question.
Sir, ethics paper is changing its pattern. Definitely, we don't have, just very simple questions and very simple answers. There is a lot of thinking, not just in case studies but also in section A. So I think definitely one needs to be very thorough with the syllabus, but also with the writing part. That when you have that question at hand, and you should be able to put in the content that you have on paper the way it needs to be. It's just not about writing whatever you know, but writing in the right way as well.
Mhm.
So the applied part of ethics, when it comes in, definitely not just directly about the questions, but the daily examples in the current newspapers that we have, they become very good, content for those questions. In fact, even in essay, I used to use a lot of real life examples. So this is the need of the paper, I think.
So let's keep now basically in general, let's say yes, we have interacted on public administration. There are so many things to be interacted and told, but not needed that rather let's say we will say ki how overall nowadays if you see the way UPSC is changing itself, it's making its papers difficult. Like say कि this year prelims if you have seen, so like you may be feeling कि चलो मेरा तो हो
Yes, sir.
गया.
I thank my gods that, I did not have to give this paper. But I think every year when we see the prelims paper on the D day, it is a shock. When I gave it in 2020, it was a shock. In 2021, it was a shock. In 2022, it was a shock when the first time these questions of only one, only two, only three came in. Now they expanded it to a next level. So I can't even imagine the pressure the students must have felt while sitting for the exam. But one thing we need to remember is that everyone is in the same boat. Everyone felt the same way, no matter what their attempt was. And then another thing that comes in that pressure, if you can get those easy questions right, those 25 30 easy questions that are always present in every prelims paper, that will make you, clear the prelims, not the difficult questions. We often think about that those difficult questions that we couldn't attempt, but it's the easy questions that knock you out of the race.
Yes. So how will motivate? What message you will give to the students, like how they should motivate themselves for both optional and GS?
Sir, I think motivation often, varies. So it is very high on a day and very low on another day. So I used to believe in discipline, that no matter what my state of mind is, what my engagements with the world are, I need to put in 7 to 8 hours of study each day. And this hasn't changed in the past years, as long as I was giving the exam. So this consistency and discipline, irrespective of what is happening around me, is what I think helped me eventually. And this is the message I can give to everyone: work in your best each day. Anudeep Turushetty sir speech is very motivating to me. He said it's about those 2 hours, those 20 questions, those 100 questions, and nothing more or nothing less. So that used to be my philosophy, that when I'm sitting for a study session for 2 hours, it's about those 2 hours, and rest all of it I'll worry in the break session. So do your bit, and it's difficult. I know it for sure. It's very difficult. It's easier said than done. I have had my lows. I won't lie about it. Everyone does have their lows. And keep your well wishers very close. They'll motivate you a lot. They are, lamppost on those dark days for you.
I guess you have been preparing from outside Delhi at home.
Sir, I've been in and out of Delhi very frequently. So in the beginning, I was preparing in Delhi. Then COVID hit. Then I came back home. For this attempt, I was again shifting in and out with different phases.
Which place you belong to?
Sir, I'm from Agra.
Agra.
Yes, sir.
Very, very close to Delhi.
Yes, sir. That's why it is easy to commute.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, the benefit of being so close to Delhi.
Yes,
I
sir.
guess it takes by 2-3 hours by Shatabdi.
Yes, sir. Just 2 hours by the train.
Hmm. So when this time you wrote mails from Agra or from Delhi?
So from Delhi itself.
Hmm. And mains preparation?
Sir, this year I came 3 months prior to prelims, because in my previous attempts I couldn't clear prelims, so there was a fear in me that I won't be able to this time also. So I preferred to prepare alone, so that my parents also don't get involved in my preparation. So 3 months before the prelims, I came to Delhi, and I wrote my prelims in Delhi. I wrote my mains in Delhi, and in fact I wrote my forest mains also in Delhi, and after that I left.
But largely the tests you wrote, I guess, online.
No sir, I was the offline student. I used to come to the center.
Okay, but I guess we did not have face-to-face. Do we have face-to-face interaction?
No sir, I used to come write my test, generally not I used to be always late while writing my test.
Yes, because since 2020 in online time it has happened gradually. There is less interaction
Yes sir.
because online time has means lockdown time has also brought a kind of more of online, and it has brought a change in the culture of preparation. Like students, they write tests and they get evaluated, then they see the recorded lectures. The
Sir,
offline, even if they are coming, so it is less interaction.
Sir, I think change after COVID was inevitable, especially in the edtech industry. But for me, I felt that I should be in close proximity to the teachers if I need them any day. So that was my reason of coming to Delhi. Otherwise, I think online is a very good way when you want to prepare at home at the comfort. at your own comfort, and you want to have all the resources at the, just a click away. So definitely it's a good way to prepare.
Yes, now let's see this year with some other people coming in top, so they have also prepared from home. It is a
Okay.
bit change in the culture, but yes, it is mixed type now.
Yes, sir.
Online, offline, and let's see, things
It's
are
become more
changing.
hybrid.
Yes, it's
Yes.
hybrid. Even foundation courses are also becoming hybrid
Yes, sir.
in an offline type. This so good to interact with you and see
Yes, sir.
like you once again because always it is a challenge to get let's say that every year among the highest ranks or marks let's say that it is becoming challenging. And
Thank you.
when the students secure, let's say, ki marks, that's also among highest or highest. So it also, let's say, ki reinforces us the way we guide and tell to the students. It gives also confidence to us. Yes, it is being in the right direction. Yes, there is always the other side of the story, that is the failure side, the students, those who have not done, and this they should do, they should look into their own, let's say, that the strategy. But certainly, let's say ki when you have secured and coming to a top rank, so it reinforces and it is also it is going to motivate the students, basically those who have public administration optional. Because we also believe that it's not only about public administration once you have taken this optional. So it helps you in, let's say, quite means unimaginable level. You cannot even imagine that how it is helping in GS interview and essay. In fact, I guess it changes overall your thinking. It's your orientation, the way you study public administration, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that way it becomes like, and then let's see how your orientation in your answer writing, and when you write your answer, and when other people write answers, like they, I guess it is quite distinguishable that way.
Sir, I think the main difference comes in GS2 and ethics with the content, because you are already, if you are prepared with your optional, GS2 is very easy for you, especially GS2. Even the polity section, you have a question on federalism. I used to use the same diagram, simplified version, not exactly the
In fact,
complex one.
we do tell in the class, the public administration students, that you know more than what you will know in politics.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Right.
It helps you a lot.
Yes. So thank you for interaction and giving time for us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Right.
having me.
Yes, and all the best for your new journey now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, all the best.
Okay, sir. Thank you.